In this video, we're going to talk about how to find scholarly sources for your ADJ100 paper number 2. I'm Dawn Emslam. I'm the library director and your librarian for this class. I'm also the librarian for the Administration of Justice Department. If you need to get in touch with me at any time after this presentation, you can Google Dawn Salve Library and you'll find my email address. What are we going to do today? So first, we're going to create a research strategy. And that's going to involve identifying the kinds of search words and phrases that'll be most effective in search tools, and also learning a little bit about how those tools work. We're also going to actually use the tools to find sources for your paper, and we're going to practice using the library's Article Search or EBSCO host databases and the library's Book Search or library catalog. So what's the first thing that we have to do? It's look really closely at your assignment. So Professor Joyce has given some pretty clear instructions, including finding 4 additional sources for a total of 6, including the 2 that he provides to you. So here we're going to ask ourselves 4 questions to craft our research strategy. The first is what information is required, and Professor Joyce would like you to find scholarly analysis of your topic. This is different from popular analysis, which you might find in news sources or other sources online for a popular audience. We're going to be looking for information that scholars have created about your topic. What types of sources are we going to use to find this? We're going to look for scholarly articles and scholarly books or book chapters. And then where are we going to find these? What search tools are we going to use? And the place to look for this particular assignment is going to be the library's Article Search or EBSCO host databases and the library's book catalog. And what search words or phrases will we use? Well, with Google, you can dump as many words as you want and you'll probably get information back, but it's going to be harder to find scholarly information on plain old Google. And in our article search and book search, it's a little pickier than Google, and you have to figure out some specific words that are most likely to work. So obviously, we'll try broken windows. We might try the authors, George Kelling and James Q. Wilson. You might try a broader term like community policing. And we'll try all of these different words to sort of see which ones are most effective. So if in this project or future ones, if you're having trouble, have a few different words or phrases up your sleeve that you can try in each of the tools. And if it doesn't work in one tool, you can try another. So let's get clear on a few words that we're going to be using to make sure we're all on the same page. The first is database. In general, a database is a collection of different types of information that's organized so you can easily search and access the material inside of it. In library land, a database is the same thing, but the types of information we're looking that it's going to hold is journal articles and sometimes ebooks, and it's organized usually by disciplines. So we have political science databases, philosophy databases, religion databases, nursing databases, and it just so happens that the EBSCO host database search that we're going to use is searching all of this subject matter at one time. References and citations are in the articles that you're going to be finding and books. They refer to the sources the article author used when they were writing the article. So when they use another author's ideas, they cite it with a citation, and it could be APA, American Psychological Association citation, or MLA, Modern Language Association citation, but they use a style of citation that's appropriate to their discipline to let the reader know the people's ideas that they used when they were writing it. And you can use those as well. If you find your author cites something and you think it looks interesting because the author cited it, you can go find it and use it for your paper. Peer review. is the process that is used to make sure that the articles are of high quality that go into a journal. So a peer-reviewed article is one where other scholars looked at it and gave feedback, and then the initial author made revisions before it could be published. It could also be referred to as refereed peer-reviewed. Now we're going to talk about two different types of publications. Scholarly journals is the first, and then we'll look at trade journals. For scholarly journals, the subject matter is, it's usually original research findings. So the author did a study and wants to communicate the results, so that this is how scholarly knowledge on a particular topic is communicated. And the people that it communicates to are other scholars, researchers, and now students like yourselves. Sometimes professionals will read these too to keep on top of the latest information in their field. The authors are almost always other scholars and sometimes subject specialists or experts in the field who have conducted maybe studies in the field on their topic. And the language is a little bit hard to understand, especially when you're first starting out. So it's normal to have a little bit of difficulty reading these types of articles in the beginning, but over time it gets easier as you get more expertise in the subject area. Popular in trade journals, by contrast, are more for current news as opposed to research findings, and it's more up to date because that peer review process means that the scholarly information has to go through a few rounds of review before it can be published, whereas current news is published usually as it happens. The audience is usually the general public or people who are actually practitioners in the field, so police chiefs, police officers, detectives, that sort of thing in this case. And the authors tend to be those experts, those people who are practitioners or journalists who have experience reporting on the field. And the language is much more accessible, although there may be some terminology in specialized publications such as police chief. Now let's jump into the library's homepage and do a few searches. So you can get here by Googling Salve Library, and that'll take you to this page. So first, what we may do is do a search just for broken windows to see how that turns out. And so the first thing we notice is that we got 6,598 results, and we have all our results right here on the right-hand side of the page. And if we wanted to limit our results down, which we certainly could do with almost 7,000 results, we could on here on the left-hand side of the page, we could do by the format. If we were at home in our PJs and we only wanted ebooks, we could click on that. Or if the date range is really important and you only wanted the last 5 or 10 years, for example, that would also be important, although for this assignment it's not necessary. A few things about this. From this side of the page, you can get a permanent link to it. So if you're collecting a bunch of books, you can copy it there. You can also get the citation right here, and you can select your citation style. If you're looking for APA, for example, you just go ahead and copy this, obviously without that insert missing URL thing, and copy Control-C or Apple-C and paste it Apple-V, Control-V. This happens to be an ebook. If you prefer print, you could go to the library and a librarian could help you find this. And if you wanted the ebook, you click on View Ebook. This takes us into our, I believe, ProQuest database, which has ebooks. And if you click on View Online, you can see the actual full text of the book here, scrolling down, or on the left-hand side, you can jump from chapter to chapter by clicking on these. And if you wanted, you could also do a search within the book for, say, an author you were looking for, or a subject, a topic. And then if you want, you can also download the PDF right here. You can get a link here and you can cite here, and this this is just another way to cite besides from the library catalog, which was right here. These ebooks come from different vendors, so you might note that they look different when you see a different. So this is our Hein Online database, but it works similarly. So if you click on the title, it jumps to that chapter. You can download the PDF, you can get your permanent link to this page, and you can cite right here again as well as citing right from the catalog. And this is yet another vendor, which looks a little different still. But again, you can cite by clicking right here, or download your PDF right here. And here is a permanent URL for this, a website address. Let's go back to the library's homepage. So we looked for books here in the book catalog under books, and we can look in our article databases by clicking on articles. And we'll just try Broken Windows again and see what happens. So now it's jumping out into our EBSCO databases. And you'll see here that it's got a lot of results, if I remember correctly. 4,353. This is just showing you that it's searching all of these databases. So psychology, general science, nursing, religion, but obviously books about policing are only going to be in some of those. Here's one article. So if you want the PDF, you click right here. And it will open the PDF. You can download it by clicking right here on download PDF, and you can get the citation by clicking on this little yellow rectangle and choosing the citation style you'd like, such as APA right here, copy and paste. And you can get the permanent link to the article by clicking on this little link. Now I want to point out that this link is different than the link in your browser window. And this is something I always point out because every year in the library we have people coming to us who've been working for hours and copying links to articles, and this will never bring you back to this article because it has what we call a session ID in it, and that only works once. And if you want the permanent link, you have to choose this little link button right here and copy and paste the link right there. There's one more thing I wanted to show you. If this article that we chose right here actually had the PDF listed, but sometimes you'll find that it doesn't. So this is an academic article right here, but it doesn't say PDF full text. So if we click on Find Full Text, it will tell us if it has it. And it says, oops, it looked into all of the library's other databases and we didn't have it. But you can request it via interlibrary loan, first name, last name, email, password. It will fill everything out for you, and our librarian will go ask another library to send it to us, and it should come within 2 to 3 days, if not sooner. If you look here and find an article you really want that is not available in PDF full text.